Hi friend. So today we will discuss with the macro how we can integrate with the VBA code with the Blue Prism. So very initial stage there is a three things we need to keep in mind. So we'll discuss in this video. We'll take the very first sample scenario and we'll discuss in the two video. The first is the simple one and the second thing we'll take the as a input parameter and we'll discuss this one as well. So the very initial stage will go through the simple and understand how we can integrate with the Blue Prism. So let's start the how we can integrate. So there is two scenario, right? So let's suppose in the macro itself the data is available and we need to do that activity, right? So I have taken the very few simple example. Let's suppose here the sum name and there are the three subject marks has been here, right? So we need to calculate here the total number of the sum. So sometime what happened, the business give us the macro file and we need to run that macro only. There is no requirement to develop the code or anything. They have already built and they have provided us to integrate this macro code into the Blue Prism. So how we can do that? So that part we need to understand here. So this is the simple one and where the data itself in the macro is available. Okay, so let's start. So this is the sum and here it is the microcode has been written if you see here. So if I run that one manually, you can see the data is reflecting here. So this code, we can run this code through the Blue Prism. So let's see start how it works. So the basic things means here we can need to understand. So the very initial stage we need to create the model here and whatever the you can rename this the total sum marks and this is your macro name. We need to understand this thing. If you not created here the model, then when you try when you try to run this one, then it will not work. So very initial stage we need to create here the model and maybe hope you know that how we can create. So create insert and model. So once you create it, it will be reflect this one. So that code should be in the model section. So once you run this code through the Blue Prism, it will be triggered. So let's see how it works. Okay, so I have a design for that code. Maybe we'll explain the each things. So very initial stage we have created the kill the Excel so that if it is open then it will be close that workbook, right? And then second, create instance. Open workbook means that file path we need to pass and right click, just you can copy this path and we need to paste here. So if you see here the path is the paste and the output I have taken a micro workbook. Okay, then after I show that macro and run macro. So if you see here, there is in the Excel itself, there is a macro VBA. We need to run this run macro. So when you run this macro handle, we need to pass and the macro name as I discussed with you, this is the macro name. So if you go here, some column, right? Columns. So we need to pass this text as a text. So let me close this one and this is the macro name. So once you click OK, then we have to save the workbook. So I have passed here the workbook name and the save. Okay, and close. Let's run, refresh and run this one. Okay. Yeah, we'll check this one. This is the output block, you can say. Yeah. So let's see. If we run, we'll go one by one and we'll check that how it works. So create instance, open workbook. So if you see that workbook itself open, right? That macro workbook, right? So if we run this one, let me come into the front and minimize this one. Then after we need to run this one. Okay, let's see how it is. So if you can see here, this is trigger the macro and it has come the output, right? Then after we need to save this one and close this workbook. Fine. So this is the simple one which I discussed with you how we can run the macro. So this is the simple one. I will go through the one next video that is the complicated and when I give you the some input parameter as well and then we can run the macro. So we'll discuss on the next video. Thank you for watching this video.